Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going over my top 20 roller coasters of all time. So first, I want to start off with honorable mention. My very first honorable mention is Tumbly. Tumbly was a really fun coaster. It's a spinning SNS coaster, and it was really fun. And you do wait a while for this ride. It was posted at maybe a 20-minute wait, and we waited at least 30 minutes. It was a really long, loading cycle, and it was not that good of, a coaster that has good, loading. I'm pretty sure they were running one train, too. But, so, my second honorable mention is Grizzly at King's Dominion, another ride at King's Dominion. This one was really fun. I would say it's a little better than Tumbly, but this ride was like my very first non out and back roller coaster from like a PTC or whatever. This was like my very first. I'm pretty sure this was by Gravity Group, the retrack, and it was a really good roller coaster. It felt smooth, and it was just really fun. The first drop really surprised me. This would be a really fun roller coaster in the back. I don't think I rode it in the back, but I think it would be really fun in the back. So starting off with number 20 is the Bat at Kings Island. This is a really fun roller coaster. It is a suspended roller coaster. This used to be the Bat, like the original one. The old one was changed and it got removed, and then they made another one, which is the Bat now. They named it to Top Gun, and then a little bit later they called it the Bat, and now it still holds that name to this day, and it still is a really fun ride. Although it is short, I feel like they need to make it a little longer, but it is still a fun ride. Number 19 is Magnum XL 200. This is already my most ridden roller coaster this year, with 5 rides on it. It opened on Sunday last week, and it was really fun. I rode it on Memorial Day. It was really fun. I rode in row 2, I think. Row 2 and row 14. I rode in other rows too, but I don't remember what they were. But this ride is so fun. It's the best aero ever been on, right behind Venture Express. It is really fun. It's the world's biggest mine train. And number 18 is Valravn, the dive coaster at Cedar Point, which is not that fun. I rode it 2 times in the back. And it was, I would say it's probably better in the back because you get a decent pull going down that drop. But it's not that good. I might be able to go to Canada's Wonderland to ride Yukon Striker, which is definitely a better roller coaster than Valravn. It's 22 feet taller than Valravn. Plus, it's one of my biggest places I really want to go to with Open Fury. And it just looks like a fun place. So, at number 17 is Raptor. I do feel like Raptor is a bit more louder this year. Raptor is an inverted roller coaster just like Banshee at Kings Island. And this one is really fun. It is a 1994 roller coaster, and it is a really compact roller coaster too. It is really intense, especially that last helix. Your feet feel very staticky, and it is a really fun ride. I rode it in the back 2 times on Monday for Memorial Day, and that was a really fun ride. So at number 16 is Gatekeeper. I rode this on the second to back row, and it was hauling. It was going so fast on that little dive part until the last little inversion, roll above the gate. And it is just a good roller coaster too. And it is Also, it gates Cedar Point's entrance, and it is a um a wing coaster, and it is really fun. Number 15 is Orion, the Giga coaster at Kings Island that people knew that were going to be coming from 2017 to 2018. But Orion is a good ride. It's not that good. I would probably say it might be a little better than Millennium, in my personal opinion. And it is also a really good ride too. It's not that good. It has airtime. That last Helix part that can give you a gray out or a blackout. It is a good ride. At number 14 is Bat the Ride. Batman was a really good ride. I rode it at Six Flags Over Texas, which I didn't vlog about, but I didn't feel I wanted to. But since Tormenta is about to open soon, it hasn't gotten a full release date. It is starting to test, and I really want to go here again, maybe next year for Tormenta. Plus maybe Shockwave and all the roller coasters I didn't ride there. Either it was a big line or it was closed for maintenance or whatever. I didn't get to ride on it. But Batman was a really good ride. It was the very first I'm pretty sure it's the very first clone for Batman from Six Flags Great America. I don't think that's correct. But correct me in the comments if I was correct or I was wrong. But anyways, this ride is really fun. It was pretty smooth. I was wearing a sweater and I had my hood up. I don't know if that changed anything, but it was a smooth ride. So at number 13 is Raptera, the wing coaster at Kings Dominion. This was new for 2025 last year, and it was a really, really fun ride. That first launch is really punchy in the front on both sides. I got to ride it on the left side and the back, which I didn't think it was that good. It was during sunset though, and it was a really fun ride too. And it was my very first launch wing coaster ever, and it was crazy. That dive loop that you get on that ride, I got a little bit of hang time on there, and that dive loop was really good. Plus that little helix part where you're about to turn around and it goes down. I got a little bit of weird airtime there, like sideways airtime. So at number 12 is Diamondback at Kings Island. Their hyper roller coaster, and this is a really good hyper. You can definitely tell it was from the 2000s, which basically has a bunch of bunny hills and stuff, a bunch of airtime hills. But this ride and then at night is so fun. I rode this at Kings Island on opening day last year and this year. I waited more on Diamondback last year than I did this year so far. I waited barely anything. We did use our single lane fast lane for this, and it was hauling. I had a whole lot of airtime. I had ejector and floater. Floater, and it was just a crazy ride. Now, I do think all the rides in front of it are just a tiny bit better. So number 11 is Mr. Freeze Reverse Blast. Instead of a reverse blast, I get a forward blast. I wanted a reverse one, but I got a forward one, which means that you just got launched forwards instead of backwards. But I rode this maybe in the middle, I think, or maybe the back. And this was a really good ride. This is at Six Flags Over Texas, and it is also another clone. The other one is at Six Flags St. Louis, which is also a park that I want to go to before it goes to Enchanted Parks. But I don't think I'm going to be able to this year. 10 is Banshee, the inverted roller coaster. This is This was made in 2014, and it was a crowd pleaser. I waited maybe 45 minutes on opening day last year, and I didn't feel like I waited that long for it. But they were hauling the trains, they were dispatching them perfectly, and it was a good ride. I would recommend to ride in the back because that pole going down that drop, going down is crazy. Number 9 is Millennium Force. Now this was a ride that I did not like last year, but I did get it right in the front, which made it a tiny bit better in my rankings. It's a good ride, and Millennium Force. You don't really get too much airtime on that big hill. I would recommend to ride it in the front because you get a little bit of floater in the front because you get there first before the middle row and the back row does. But I want to say this ride is as good, but it still is a pretty good ride. So at number 7 is the Beast. Now I gotta ride this on opening day this year for a dark ride, and it was crazy good. The night rides on this ride I've heard that are very nice and very like dark, and this was my very last ride on it. Plus, there was somebody who vomited on it as I was about to board, and we got kicked out because of the person who vomited. They had to clean it up, and then they had to test that thing like 3 times, and then we got on, and it was running pretty good. It was running a lot more smoother than last year because they got a gravity group retrack on it, and it was really good. So at number 6 is Titan. Titan is a roller coaster at Six Flags Over Texas, and it is a hyper roller coaster from Genowani, whatever. I don't know how you say that, but this is one of my very first rides on one of my very first manufacturers that I didn't get a ride, and it was a really good ride. That drop felt really nice. I rode this in the front and the back, which were both really good. But every single time I look at it on queue times, it's either been closed or it's been at a low wait, like 15 minutes. But it is a really fun ride. Number 5 is Twisted Timbers. This is a ride at King's Dominion. It was my second RMC I ever ridden, and it was really fun. Really fun. And the airtime you get on this ride is all ejector, maybe a little bit of floater if you're in the middle. And it is really fun. Now that drop into that little barrel down, that felt really cool. Plus, it is a good ride. You get a whole lot of ejector and floater, what I just said. And it is maybe one of my second favorite RMCs behind like Texas, New Texas Giant, which is not that good. It didn't make this list, but it was a good ride. So at number 4 is Siren's Curse, the new for 2025 roller coaster at Cedar Point. It is a tilt roller coaster, if you guys didn't know, and it is a really good ride too. And the back row on this ride is really good. I would recommend if you want to ride it in the front, I would say you ride that during the nighttime. Actually, no, backwards. I would say you ride it in the back row, and if it's the night, then ride it during the front because it's way nicer in the front when it's dark. I rode it from the back and the front, and it was both really good. I also did ride in the back on opening day of it, I think. I don't remember, but I rode it in like maybe in the back, somewhere around the back, and it was a really good ride. And this ride on opening day, the line sucked to wait in. I waited in like all the switchbacks almost, and it wasn't a good wait. I didn't like the wait on it, but this was way before we had the Prestige, which gives you a free one fast lane. But that line was also big too. It was probably about 60 minutes, which is an hour. So at number 3 is Maverick, an intimate launch roller coaster at Cedar Point, and it is a really good ride. I've always wanted to get a rollback on that first launch, which is pretty rare for it, and it is a really good ride. That second launch is super punchy in the front and in the back. That back row in on Maverick in the back, going down that 95-degree drop, it is so good. You get ejected down that drop. Plus that airtime hill after those two little snappy turns. There's a big ejector airtime on that uh, airtime hill. You will get airtime on on that hill no matter what row you're in the middle or whatever row you are in, because how small this train is, and you get so much ejector that you're out of your seat almost the entire time of that hill. And then you go down into like two little horseshoe rolls, which is really fun. Really a little snappy. I would say the first one is, but the last one isn't that snappy. It's just a little roll. It doesn't really do anything. And then you go into that second launch, which is so punchy. Number 2 is Steel of Vengeance. Steel of Vengeance is called the airtime king of all roller coasters, and I would say it is. I would say it's behind like Twisted Timbers or like Diamondback or whatever. All the rides that I've ridden, I would say, and it is a really good ride. Um, the last two times we went to Cedar Point, we rode it. On the second time, it was not that big of a wait, and they were hauling the trains, and then they took off the second train. It got a little slower, but it still was really fast. The operating team of that roller coaster that day was doing really good, and then the third time I visited, they were doing really good. I found out when you're in the brake run, there's a train going over you from the brake run, and that's when they dispatch it or when they're supposed to. And then it goes down that drop when they're going back through. There's a whole lot of airtime hills and stuff, and it is a good ride. You get a whole lot of airtime on this ride. We did get a trimless on the third day. It was running really good that day too. Number 1 is Top Thrill 2. Top Thrill 2 was a really good ride, and when we first got into the line, we it broke down because it failed to launch, and then we left and we got like 5 rides on other things. We got 3 rides on not Maverick, on Magnum, and it was like a really good visit too. We got 21 rides. You guys should go check out that video. It showed this during like maybe sunset. We were gonna use our fast lane for it, but we used it for a different ride, which was Sirens. We used it perfectly well, and this ride is so good. You get you get launched at a 75 miles per hour first, and then you go backwards 101 miles per hour. That is really crazy to think about. You get a huge stomach drop going up that little spike. Then you get launched 120 miles per hour, just like the original Top Thrill. And you go over. I would recommend the left side or the right side, whichever one. That gives you that you are right next to the supports. I'm pretty sure that's the left side. But this ride is so good when you're on the left side because you get that little snap when you're going down that
Top hat.
going down that little roll into the brakes. That was my top 20 roller coasters that in my all-time list. And I hope you guys subscribe and like, and also comment what your top 20 is. And I'll see you in my very next video.